When we spend so much time in town in real estate, we're going from one house to another, showing homes and such. We see a lot of new development. It's easy to think that a lot of the more modern and contemporary designs are kind of all limited to downtown or in the town area. And that is not correct at all. Look behind me. This place is incredible. This is 6459 Arno College Grove Road, and it is directly across from the Grove community down here in Williamson County. And this home is over 8,500 square feet. You got 7 bedrooms, you got 7 full bathrooms, 3 half baths. It is incredible. It's sitting on 5 acres. So that totally dispels the whole thing about modern homes are only in town. So we're going to take a tour of this place today and show you just how spectacular a modern home can be on acreage in Williamson County. So let's go see it. Now, if you looked at the Tennessee home market at all, you kind of know that Tennessee is kind of a traditional design and building kind of area. There's a lot of brick and stone here, but when you see a modern or a contemporary home, it is just awesome and it stands out. And it's always interesting to see how those are implemented. Is it a stucco side type thing? Are they using, kind of modern board and batten type thing? This is just a great blend because look at all the stone on there. And it contrasts with the darker tones there. And stone being a very common material here makes this one just sit perfectly on this acreage. And again, this is 5 acres. It's down in Williamson County, right across from the Grove community. And so it's got a modern design, but it's got some, incorporation of traditional materials there as well. And that just makes it sit perfectly on this tract of land. Look at that big glass on the doors. Big glass everywhere, which keeps that home looking nice and bright inside. Got the iron railing up there. You are gonna love this one. Look at that design, just continues around the corner there. Got the upper deck, got the railing around there, and look at the design elements just in the elevation above the garage there. It's just, they could have gone with just a real simple design because a lot of modern does that, but look at that. Different design elements, and it kind of gives it a sense of texture in there. Okay, now I'm going to pan right and show it to you. Look at the guest house. Is that not incredible? I don't think your guests are going to want to leave. So wait till you see the inside of that. This has come a long ways. Garages at one time were just garages. Now look at that. You have glass panels on there. Lets all that daylight in. Look at that. Leading up to the garage. Look at the pattern you've got there. Is that not spectacular? Sure, we'll jump into the garage while we're here. Look how high that ceiling is. In some of these videos, when we have high ceilings, I let people know that car lifts or storage racks are becoming more common now because they're cost effective. You have tall ceilings, you can fit them in. And granted, you wouldn't store a minivan or anything like that on there, but if you have a lower profile sports car, it makes a perfect option for stacking cars and increasing your car capacity. Really good option. And look at that view. Anytime I'm out in this area filming, I want to show people the view because so many people, when they come to Tennessee, they comment about how green it is and the topography. It happens so often and they're so right. So I try to highlight that and just show people what Tennessee looks like. And it's always so beautiful. So let's jump inside and let's start taking a look at the interior of this so I can show you all the incredible features of it. What a grand entrance. Look at that. Nice contrast too, not only the dark tones with the stone, but even the tones they have here. That just complements each other so well. It contrasts and complements all at the same time. Look at that view right from the front door. You're also going to see as we go through these, it's pretty traditional in our area for interior design. So when you come into a modern, you're also going to see different finish levels or styles or visions. So for instance, a lot of the homes we're going to see, a lot of crown molding, big base molding. And so a modern design prefers clean lines. So you're not going to see quite the same approach or vision. Let me just give you an example here. See how they finish the lower wall? Where in a traditional design, you'd have like large base molding there. Same thing even with the door panels. You see a variety of panels in a traditional home where, look at this. See, they're just smooth finish panel. Even the hardware design. Beautiful selection on flooring. And the laundry here. And see, this is one of those spaces you can be a little bold too. We talk about that in some videos where somebody might want a clean design, but they also want some bold accents. And so laundries, bars, some of the powder rooms, perfect places to do that. We've filmed some before where, you have the accent color, accent wall in a bath, and they put a bold tile in there. Okay, how can you not like the level of custom design in this? Look at this closet. You've got lighting, you've got pull down racks, you have all that half height hanging. And back up. Now the pull down racks, just a note in case there's somebody who has never seen those. When they see tall built-ins like this, they wonder, how do the people reach everything up top? That's a pull down rack. So what you can do is you can hang clothes on it and then you can pull the bar and it will come down to the height where you can take clothing off of it. That is spectacular. That LED lighting, inside glass panel for jewelry, watches, whatever you have there. Beautiful hardware on the island. And sometimes we talk about how built-ins go pretty far up. This is literally floor to ceiling. Got the window up there, keeps it nice and bright. Look at that design. You even got a seat there where you can sit for putting shoes on and getting dressed. Got your glass shelves, recessed lighting. Beautiful. And all of this is in the primary suite. Look at that floor. A lot of times you hear me talk in kind of more traditional designs, how I like those small tiles, but I often also mention that I like something like a 24 by 36 as well. Look how big those are. That is beautiful. Twin niches, glass shelves. 2 shower heads, got the sprayer, rain head above. Beautiful. Got a steamer, 2 benches adjacent to the shower. Standalone tub. Look at that. And look at that view. And see, even designing the modern bathroom, look at that, the finish on the cabinets, and the texturing, the profile, the hardware. You have lighting down on the floor. Sink size, shape, the plumbing fixture, mirror design and fixture. See, it all goes together to create that theme. We talk about that a lot in these videos. And as you go through homes, you're going to start looking at that, about how people have made careful selections to make their vision happen. And just in this room, window placement, size, does it have grids? No grids. Are they just going to be picture windows? The finish of the floor. And look at that incredible accent in here. Goes along the ceiling. You have uplighting on top. Double doors open to the rear of the home. Pathway directly to the pool. As we travel out of the primary bedroom, we're passing the bathroom on the right and the closet on the left. I'm just going to note both of those have pocket doors. And we talk about pocket doors a lot because of how convenient they are. They save space and they eliminate door swing area. So that is definitely a good option right there. Saves all those door swings into the bathroom and the closet. Passing the laundry on the right, the office on the left, and coming out to the main living area. Got your conditioned wine room there. You see the conditioner in the floor there. Look at that, more lighting on the floor, modern finishes on the hardware, wall finish, mirror. Look at that, that is spectacular. Right back to a locker area. Got your pet wash station. Those are getting popular nowadays. Storage up top. That brings us right to the garage where we took a quick look when we first started the video. Point out those glass door panels again. That is just so awesome. And it's not only a modern design, but like I mentioned, it lets a lot of light in. And sometimes people might say, well, I want my garage completely closed off. And I get that. Everybody uses garages differently. Maybe you don't want people looking in. But again, you're on 5 acres here. And let me just show you what's next to you here. So see, you can kind of splurge and use the design element because you don't have a home or anything directly next to you. And other times, even if you are in a neighborhood, you want to go glass panels. You might have sports cars or something in there, and you want it to present kind of like a showroom. So everybody's a little different on how they want to treat their garage. Got your pot filler on the wall there. Awesome hood arrangement. Love how they've incorporated the light throughout. And being LEDs, you can dial in the color. So, if the current color that you're seeing in the video isn't your thing, you can dial in different colors to those systems. Look at that, the uppers, look how far up they go. All that storage. Got your prep area. And again, this is just steps off the kitchen right here. Got your dishwasher and built-in fridge. Look at that, it even wraps around. It's one of those spaces that once you enter it, it's bigger than you initially thought. So if you're entertaining and you want to keep that kitchen open for people to, just gather and enjoy your home, all your prep can go on right back here. Beautiful. Look at those windows right here in the stairwell. Look at that. Towering over the stairs. Keeps everything nice and bright in here. And again, we talk a lot in videos that finishes. You have the large windows, no grids, lets the light flood in. But once the light comes into a space, you don't want it all to be absorbed either. So if you go in and you finish out a home with a lot of dark spaces, that's going to absorb a lot of your light. So there's a lot to designing a bright home. It's letting the light in and then using light finishes to reflect it all so the home maintains that level of brightness. So we're on the second level, and you probably hear, and you might have even seen some people, there are some other people on site here today, but still an awesome tour. Smooth panel doors. Same light flooring. Just a good modern finish. Look how tall those ceilings are. Beautiful. And see, the light tones continue in to the bathroom design as well. You want to keep those nice and bright. Nice deep tubs. Look at that. Swinging glass door, got your sprayer, your rain head. We point out the valve placement too. See, it's perfect for starting the shower. Actually, you have double valves on that one. You got the sprayer independent valve as well as the traditional valve under the shower head. But with the swinging door there, the valve placement is great under the head there because see, when the door swings open, you can still start the shower and not have to worry about getting that cold dose of water. Well done on that design. Got your walk-in closet. Plenty of built-ins, hanging. You've got half height and full height. And just for reference, that secondary bedroom was on the back side of the home, so we've just moved to the front side of the home. Soaring ceilings in this one as well. Have your walk-in closet to the right. More custom built-ins. And when these are implemented that well, I just like to remind people, those are custom built on site. That's not a system that somebody just purchased and, just kind of hung on the wall. Those are built right here on site. Look at that. It's nice and bright. They were even able to use the gray tones in there. And that just shows you the level of light in here, that it keeps it bright even with the kind of medium to dark gray. Really nice selection on countertop. I like the panel dividers in that shower glass too. Beautiful. Got your sprayer and your rain head. Got your niche with your glass shelf. I like the tile design, how they did the cuts for the drain too. See, sometimes just that little stuff, as you look through a home, you can walk away and say, wow, I really like that. But sometimes you really don't think about why you liked it. And all those little design elements add up. Back out to the hallway. for everybody that might need a late night snack or something from the secondary bedrooms, right? Have your elevator straight ahead. Now, when we were out front and we started the video, we looked at the balcony. And there you go. You got double doors outputting to the balcony. Balcony and deck. I mean, that is spacious out there. Have all your built-ins, walk-in closet, pocket door, saves the space on the door swing. Now see, you might be designing a home. You know, the viewers of these videos have all different purposes, and they sometimes pick up ideas for homes they're designing. And by the time we mention pocket doors enough, people are going to be putting pocket doors into their homes, and they are space savers for sure. Have your same light flooring there. Beautiful. Deep tubs. And if you ever tub shop, you'll know what I'm talking about. Tubs vary a lot. Similar system there. You've got the sprayer independent valve, rain head with its own valve. Coordinating hardware, placed perfectly. Have a dark finish on the vanity. Love the gold hardware. Nice. And this bedroom is on the front side of the home. Let me show you the view there. Beautiful, look at that. See, that's the Tennessee green and the Tennessee topography that everybody always talks about loving when they come here. And if you can see that you're surrounded by perfect luxury homes as well. And again, this is 6459 Arno College Grove Road, and it is right across from the actual Grove community. Look how large this deck is. Look how beautifully it's finished. The color of it, the railing. I think if people are selecting secondary bedrooms, I think you're going to have a vote on who gets that one. The one with the balcony and deck access. Upstairs laundry, you can see it's already plumbed. You already have your hot cold in the wall. You have your catch pan. Nice security there in case there are any washer issues. See, again, they've got the bold tile. And see, this type of room is the perfect place for people to kind of express that creativity. Nice bright room. And again, as you look through, again, compared to traditional design, see how they finish the lower portion of the wall there? And that's a big difference between modern and traditional. Continuing down the hallway, full bath right here in the hall. Beautiful finishes. And see how consistent the selections are throughout all these bathrooms? You got the rain head, you've got the sprayer. Very consistent look. And it doesn't mean, all the bathrooms have to be the same. But again, if you're building a theme or a vision for a home, you're looking for some consistency. Unless you are just looking for a wild presentation, most people are looking for a coherent look or a cohesive look. Look at that. Door accessing the deck there. Large picturesque windows. Got your built-in closet. And this bathroom that we just stopped at in the hallway, see, that can serve bedrooms as well as community space. So for example, we're walking in now a large living space on the upper level. You could turn this into anything you wanted. It could be office, it could be exercise, whatever you would like. And whoever's using this room can then share that common bathroom. So that's a fantastic design. Have your twin ceiling fans, your wet bar area, if you choose to use that way. Large wall on this side, you can turn it into media if you wanted to. Then you've got your slider doors out to a second deck. And see, those are not only functional, but they provide such a good design element on the exterior of the home. Because as we've talked about in videos, you have windows on the outside of the home or on the exterior walls of a home, and they're functional for the light and egress and ingress, in emergencies and things like that. But, the windows are also something to consider on the inside. And certain rooms that comes into more into play, and usually that's going to be like either a bathroom, closet, or kitchen, because a lot of those areas are either going to have built-ins or cabinets. So you have to kind of accommodate the windows in that design. But when it works out, it just looks incredible from the outside and is super functional on the inside. So we're just traveling back across the home just to give you another view. This would be back toward the front door and the living space on the main level. So we've just come out from the main living area. Look at the finishes on that porch. Look at that ceiling. And this is going to open you right up to the pool area. Look at the different decking types. That concrete, nice. How it's textured. Right over to the pool, and there's the guest house in the background. Look at the size of that island, just for the outdoor kitchen. That beautiful and spacious countertops everywhere. Look at all the storage. Have your grill right behind. You got your built-in hood and exhaust. Audio in the ceiling. Look at the view from right behind this island. How are you going to top that, right? Look how deep blue that color is. Perfect color selection on the edging here. Got your infinity edge all the way around. Beautiful. So when you're done enjoying that pool, or maybe even before, you're going to come over to your very own putting green. Look at that. And I don't know anybody who doesn't enjoy a putting green. You don't have to be a pro golfer or anything. Putting is just fun. So if you're entertaining, or whether you're just out here on your own as the owner, you're going to have an absolute blast in this rear living space. Of course, with that guest house up there, you might not be alone. I'm thinking your guests are going to be here long term. Okay, I've teased you on the guest house. Let's go check it out. Look at the beautiful walk. And these are lit. I'm out here in the daytime now, but these are actually lit underneath the leading edge. And they just create a beauty at night, kind of a glowing way up the walkway. We talked a little while ago about having a cohesive design. And look how the guest house perfectly coordinates and matches the main home. And here's more of why people love Tennessee. Look at all that. And again, all this is sitting on 5 acres. You've got plenty of mature trees. Seems like you're at your own retreat area. Look at the big porches surrounding. Imagine sitting out here any weather type. And Tennessee has such good weather. Well, we get a little warm in the summer and we get a little cool in the winter. But just imagine sitting out here in the fall, leaves are changing colors. Not, speaking of which, a lot of places their foliage doesn't change colors. So when people come here, especially in October or early November, they are just shocked at how pretty it is. All the green starts turning to yellows and oranges and reds. Listen how peaceful it is out here. Hear some birds going. Now, does that not match in design the main house perfectly, or what? That is beautiful. Right out here in the woods, you got the small guest house, but you have that modern and contemporary flair. I mean, look at the firebox there, kind of turning the corner on the wall there. Similar design elements. You got your white inside, got that modern wall finish at the bottom, got your light floors. And even the selections, even look at the furniture. See, it just matches perfectly. So much of that goes in to building a theme. Light fixtures, the tile, backsplash on the wall, look at that, it goes all the way to the ceiling. Got a modern exhaust hood, have your pot filler, have your lighting under the cabinet. In-island microwave, keeps it off the counters, frees up some cabinet space. I know, somebody watching right now just said that they could probably just live in the guest house. Not literally, this isn't a live chat or anything. I just know how people respond to videos when they see things. And when you see something this gorgeous, a lot of people are going to think, well, I'll just live in the guest house. Just let me know when and where to move in. And how could you not? I mean, the thing is beautiful. Light treads on the staircase here. Especially when we're looking at modern homes. You see kind of modern homes in architectural magazines, and the light just plays such a part in things. And just look at those 3 windows. Just look how the light comes in. You have the little highlights and the shadows just on that staircase. And a lot of that's by design. It's just not accidental. Let's put some windows in and see what happens. They look at where the light is going to come in and where to design the walls. That bedroom with your own slider doors out to the deck. Closet with a built-in laundry hookup. You just stack it over and under right there. Good space saver. And that way you maintain room for your hanging and clothes storage. It's so well designed too, how much that they have fit in the footprint on this guest house. Similar to the other bathrooms, but look at this. We picked up a cabinet stack right here on the left, which is a great use of that space. It's a trade-off sometimes how you're going to design your cabinets and how the bathroom's going to be used, who is going to use it, and for how long. So sometimes in a bathroom, what you might look for is maybe a long vanity because somebody might be there long-term, as in living in the home. And you need some storage on the top there. And at other times, you might need a cabinet stack like this. And that'd be a good place to put linens, if you're turning over the room or refreshing it after guests. So the cabinet stack sometimes serves also as like a linen closet. Nice space up here. Kind of like a nice compact space. You could do yoga, maybe a small piece of exercise equipment. Maybe even a little desk for a small office. If you just put a small desk or even a chair here to read or do some work, I mean, look at the view you'd have. So this is the second level of the guest house. Back to the main level. Just to give you one more look at that gorgeous space. And again, the proximity to the main house. You know, it's just the right distance where you feel like you have your own space. I mean, just think of the view, not only today in the daylight, but just think in the evening, you know, when the lights are on in the main house and it starts having that glow, you know, the pool is there. It's just an incredible visual at all times. You have the big porches here. You have the upstairs deck off the bedroom. Yeah, I think the guests might be hanging around for a little while. So how'd you enjoy that tour? Again, this is 6459 Arno College Grove Road, and that is down here in Williamson County. It is just across from the Grove community. It is incredible out here. Again, it had 7 bedrooms, 7 baths, 3 half baths. You're sitting on 5 acres, and you have Tennessee views everywhere. It is absolutely spectacular. If I can answer anything about this home or anything real estate related, please reach out to me. My name again is Sean Larson, real estate broker here in Middle Tennessee and the 38th Florida market. I hope you have a fantastic day.